George, that must have been a tough afternoon all round.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously you're playing against one of the best teams in the world, and we knew that going into the game, and we had a plan to try and stop them, and ultimately, things like the red card and whatnot, it sort of alters that. But I think the boys just dug in and showed great character, and sometimes the quality is just too much.
Leaf must be gutted.
Yeah, naturally, he feels like he's let the boys down, but it's one of those things. It's not the first red card in football history, so it's about we're a team, and it's not Leaf's fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's a team. It's a collective, and the boys will get around them, and they'll be disappointed and whatnot. But it's part and parcel of football, and I thought we dealt with it after that pretty well. To be fair.
It was going to be difficult, 11 against 11, but when you're a man light for what, an hour in the end.
Yeah, and I think we sort of, to a man, we were excellent at that point. It's very easy to sort of go under, and that game, I've seen it before where it gets sort of silly with the scoreline, and I think until late on when they sort of cause with a couple of short set pieces, we're a man light, and they've got the quality to go and cause you issues. But up until that point, I thought on the whole we sort of limited them to chances, and that's what it was all about. It was just about showing the togetherness and showing a bit of character.
And so hard up there for you as well, battling away.
Yeah, that's I don't mind that. It's that's part and parcel of the job, and whether there's 11 men on the pitch, 10 men, to me my role's the same. It's to help the team to fight with the centre halves who are top centre halves, and go and assert myself, and especially when we're down to 10 men, sort of give the rest of the boys a little bit of a breather. I felt like I did that today, and it was a tough day, but one we'll learn from.
And learning all the time as well, as you say, against some top opponents.
Yeah, of course. You're not going to play too many teams better than that. Like I say, there's a reason to go to the Bernabeu and get the result. They're a pretty good side, and we sort of learnt that today the hard way. But as we always say, it's something that we'll learn from. There's things we could definitely do better in the first sort of 15-20 minutes, and that's something that we'll learn from.
I'm pleased to get a couple of starts as well. You were involved in both goals a week ago. I thought you played really well. Had another good shift this afternoon. Yeah,
no, thank you. It's obviously, like I say, I just work as hard as I can every day, and when the opportunity comes, it's up to me to be ready. And I feel like I've not done myself a disservice over the last couple of games, and two really good teams we've played against, and I like to think I put myself about and in a pretty decent manner. So hopefully it's something that can continue. But like I say, it's up to me, working in training and sort of see where we go.
That's just about it, isn't it, in terms of relegation this afternoon? No, not mathematically 100%, but you must be realistic, George.
Yeah, of course. We're not naive. We're not a naive group. We're a pretty realistic group, to be fair, and that's something we pride ourselves on. And I think we're probably not going to achieve the goal that we sort of set out at the start of the season. But you can never say never, because crazy things can happen. But like you say, we're also a very realistic group, and we've got 5 games left, I think it is now, to sort of keep learning and sort of go and put a point across to the rest of the division. That we gave it a real good go.
I was going to ask you how you approach these games. It's a massive one at St James's Park next week.
Yeah, one to go and enjoy. There's not many better away grounds to go and play at, so I've been told. So definitely one that we'll enjoy. We'll prepare right, and ultimately, if we can be the team that goes and sort of ruins for other people's seasons, then so be it.
It'd be lovely just finally to give those fans another big win, wouldn't it? They've enjoyed those 4 so far this season. I mean, the noise at the end of the game here this afternoon was ridiculous. Yeah,
it's incredible, and I think even going around the pitch at the end, you sort of clapping the fans, showing the appreciation, and to hear them singing at the top of the voice like they do it, I know it certainly gave me goosebumps, and it just makes you proud to play for Ipswich Town at the end of the day, and to go out there and put on a performance, whether it's working hard, whatever it may be on the day, to hear them singing and clapping means that they appreciate it, and if they appreciate it, we're doing something right. So
lovely, thanks, George.
Cheers,
George. With what is going to happen in the next few weeks, does it mean that you can kind of play with that bit more freedom, because Premier League's biggest league in the world is high stress, high pressure all the time, and now you can maybe go out there and have that bit more freedom at times?
I don't think it's freedom, because I think if you start getting a bit, I think if you start thinking you can play with freedom, you can go and get beat 8-0. That's just a level of opposition you play against. You have to be right on it. It's going to be a game plan, whether that means, people say the writing's on the wall, but if that means we have to go and sit behind the ball for 90 minutes against Newcastle, then that's the way we're going to try and do it, and that's the way we're going to win the game. It's like I said, I don't want to use the word freedom. We're going to go and enjoy it and make the most of every opportunity we've got from now to the end of the season. ultimately try and nick as many points as we possibly can. So for us, it's just about going out there, training every day, and getting to the game and putting on the best version of ourselves.
It's obviously about playing for pride, of course, but in these next few weeks you can also use that to build forward to next season if it's going to be back in the Championship, and preparing to try and fight to come back up as well. Yeah,
I mean, you could say that. It's one of those things where you kind of just focus on here and now. Take each game as it comes, and there'll be bits we can learn that come next season we can probably look back on and sort of take those experiences with us going forward. So yeah, definitely every game from now to the season, definitely another learning opportunity, and hopefully, like I say, we can go and get some more points.
How's that mentally for you and your teammates? Because you look at, for example, some of the other relegated teams are going to be going down. They're in a position where it looks a bit more hostile. They don't look as happy. You guys, it feels like you're such a unified group, and it's a unified club at the moment.
Without a doubt, and I think it always has been ever since I've been at the club. That's been something that has never swayed, not once, and that's something that will continue to be there long past me being here. So I think that's what the club's built, with the boss, with upstairs, Mark Ashton and co. So I think that's something that is just sort of in the roots of the football club now. Something that we pride ourselves on, that we're the ones with a badge that get to go out there and sort of fulfil that. And like I said, that'll be something that continues for years to come. So no one's worried, no one's stressed, no one's, ultimately we've probably not going to achieve the goal that we set out, but yeah, there'll be a lot of lessons learned, and we'll be hopefully in a better position going forward next season.
George, can it feel like a lonely place out there when the scoreline is going the way it is and kind of the game seems to be running away from you?
It can, when you've not got a stadium full of people, cheering you on and supporting you, but ultimately I've been here for 2 and a bit years now, and I've never experienced that. So, I thought the fans were absolutely incredible, to a man, to a woman. It's been brilliant, playing in front of them. It's a pleasure every time you get to do it, and certainly something I don't take for granted. So, I've never felt lonely out there. I've got a team full of people that we're all fighting as hard as I am, and like I say, you've got a stadium full of people that are all cheering you on. So that's definitely something that you can be proud about.
And despite the scoreline and the level of opposition, what can you learn from games like this? Are there things that you can take from it going forward?
Yeah, without a doubt, there's lessons we can learn. Ultimately, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. That is just the level of the opposition. There's plenty more teams than us found that out this season. But yeah, there'll be lessons learned, and going forward, things we can improve on, things we did very well today at times, and we'll look at those as well. But yeah, definitely lessons to be learned.